And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games, and we're back for some more Digimon TCG content. So today we have Gallantmon taking on Cross Hearts. This is the final of the first round to finish up. As you can see, Gallantmon on the left here, pretty rough start with a forecast ground one. Lucky enough that card is a forecast, so it doesn't make it too bad. But yeah, Cross Hearts going into a pretty normal start, going into the Sparrow there, and they are looking to go down to a, I can't remember her name. The one let's play out the Darula, which they don't have the Darula, so they will hard play the Blister. So not the most practical starts on either side, but I think Cross Hearts is definitely a more formidable thing to worry about. Don't forget, if you do like this content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. But overall, let us know how you found this tournament so far. This is our, like I said, our first one for BT12 Across Time. Next one is going to be BT11 for us, and then we'll venture through the other ones. And obviously, if you have any of these decks you are interested in, we'll look to potentially put some profiles out there if you want to see more of it, but it's down to you. So we can see here, Gallant has got the rookie now. They are going into the War Growl. If you allow you trash 3 and your opponent trashes 3, and he would play out a Gallantmon or a Takato. Has he got any of those? Oh no, there's no certain criteria. I can never remember it off the top of my head, but you know. And it goes into the Gallant X. Does get the pop, which will then get saved. So not the most orthodox start for Gallant here, especially not what you want to see when you go into this matchup. When Cross Hearts can be seen to be so consistent with having a deck full of rookies, tamers that allow you to draw, gain memory, etc. So Sparrow, the die, gets a draw from the Pikmon, and he'll play down the new tamer, which does add a lot to this deck's overall consistency. Being able to start main phase, tuck a card, draw a card, gain a memory, really expands out this deck's turns and obviously helps them filter. The only concern they've got with that is if you're playing against a deck that's got tamer hate, because it will obviously, if they stack everything underneath it, then they're pretty much screwed. Gallant X will go for a swing here. It hits the, what's her name? It's going to bug me. I'm going to find the card now. Okay, it's going to bug me. No Darula again though, so a little bit thing, you know, just go there from the hand from the Cross Heart side of things. Bear with me, because it's going to irritate me that much. I am just finding the name that really card, because I have, you know, it's bothering me. Akari? No? Do I just call it Darula's mom? Jason Derulo. Resort. Akari, I was right. Okay, cool. I wasn't going insane. It's still basically Darula's mom. So we've got the Takato down here. That is the new one that memory resets to 3 and also lets them do a sort of like Emperor Grim or Kaiser Grim, however you want to refer to it. Tuck some things underneath and go into their big body. We have got the Starmon down on Cross Hearts raising, and they're going to throw down a Shoutmon to a bit of digging. They'll do the reveal first, so they're going to do draws first. So they do go up to do the draw for the reveal first, which does fetch them Spiral Sword and a Taiki, and then they will use the others to draw a further 2 cards. So already be able to cycle a hell of a lot of cards there, which is slightly concerning for Gallant unless he can get some pressure going soon. It's managed to take its security down somewhat, but realistically how with Cross Hearts works, it can just come out of nowhere. Okay, so going up into, Digicrossing into the Shoutmon King as from BT12, which allows them to play down a Taiki, which then let them get the reveals going all over again. I believe he gets the reveals. Yeah, there we go. Okay, no it doesn't. There it does, I thought it did. Sorry about that, just a slight delay on obviously doing the reveals. I'm guessing they'll take that to hand and they'll tuck under a Darula. Did I see a Darula there? Yeah, I've been missing most of those throughout the game. Yeah, there we go. So I didn't take the Zenjiro there, which is interesting. No Zenjiro down isn't like the worst thing in the world, but you know, Zenjiro does put a lot of effort in to actually help the deck function that much more by reducing any cost down further by getting the memory back. So Gallant's going to go ahead and hatch here. Do they have the rookie to go into? Checking the trash here. I'm assuming they're checking for the BT12 Gallantmon, whereas you can took a Groundmon and a War Growl, and then go into the new Gallantmon. So they do have the rookie. It's a good start. Assuming they're just going to go straight for it. So they've got 3 security left, I can see, or is it 4? So they'll go into that. That will go ahead and pop the Shoutmon King. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and swing here. Now I do think they missed the trigger here, if I'm not mistaken, because the fact is, if there's nothing to delete, this gets to trash as security as well as do a check. At the time, it feels like it could cost them. So the X7 actually does take out that there. So the other Gallantmon would have died anyway. But yeah, it would have. I think this would have changed the outcome ever so slightly. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, I think it's unless it deletes something that's under 6,000 DP, you would get trash of security instead. And then open to see the Groundmon in the back to put them to 1. So 4 security to get through for the Cross Hearts player to catch up here, and obviously take game. Not completely doable with the deck, but you know, it's early days yet. So they're going to go ahead and tuck to gain a memory, draw a card. They're going to swing with a star, draw off the Pikmon. And they hit, that was a Groundmon, so just go ahead and die, which is the outcome majority of the time in this scenarios. You don't really care if your Cross Heart stuff dies. The save is just like free poke at this point. Swing without consequence almost. So what is play here? So an X7 would be a great way to deal with the board here, deleting the Gallant, and then that'll be sat there if it's got the Zeeg and that as a blocker as well. That'd be a nice way to kind of obviously gauge back some tempo. So they go into the X3, tap the Taiki to take some sources out from under the Tamers. X3 unplayable will reveal 3, and you can add up to 2 Cross Hearts in their trait, with 2 cards with Cross Hearts in their traits. And then it has the effect of at the start of your turn, you can delete this Digimon to gain a memory, and it has material save 2 in it. So he's taking those. It looks like a Zeeg and a X7. So it looks like we are going for the X7 play here. Ordering for these when you put the sources in does matter, because obviously there is a lot of D-Digivolve going around, and obviously it's similar to DNA Digivolve where you do it in colour order from left to right. You have to keep these in the order it's printed on the card. So how much is that looking to cost? I don't know if he's got the full source under there, so it's going to cost 3. And that will go ahead and pop the Gallant. so now it's sitting there on with an X7 blocker and X3, so things have changed in tempo just a little bit here for the Crossheart player, and Gallant's going to have to look to come back from this one. So let's see what they've got. Alright, so I'm assuming they decide whether they want to raise up here if they've got the pieces to do anything, so they are only at 1, which isn't a great amount of memory for them to work with. If they have some of the pieces, I guess they could look to delete some things, but the problem is you the X anti pieces as well, like going into the Wargrat X, then deleting a 6k. So I think X3 is a 6k body, but clearly it looks like they didn't have the pieces. So they've gone this game with the Wargrat X anti, passing turn over at 2. Now the X7 I believe does have a double check here, so is he gonna opt for this? So he's gonna delete that to save 2 to gain another memory, because that one is a start of turn trigger. Then it should be the trigger for his thing after he's hatched as well. Yeah, some ordering is a key thing here. So I didn't want to just opt just to keep the additional body on board then, because if he gets the 2 checks through, X3 goes through it. If he has anything with rush, you can swing the game. It's tough for Gallantmon here. It really needed to have down the Blitz Staccato, because at least here you can look to go into the bigger, well, try and get into the Gallant and then Crimson mode, depending on what it's left on. So 2 checks, nothing noteworthy there. Sad to hear, no major hits. Does get a draw from the Starmon, I think it's in there as well, in the X7. And it does have reboot because of the Sparrow, so it's not lost any presence to actually hold off any further attacks. Okay, so going for the X4. Taking the source out from underneath the Tamer. Going into the X4 there. So is that pass turnover? Memory marker, no, it's down to 0 I believe. So he's going to get the swing here. Does it survive? It looks like it does survive, which means it will get to tuck all its sources and restand the Tamer. What's the outcome here? It will be an X5 if anything, to be able to retain turn and get the last swing. Otherwise, I guess it's just placing it down and pass turn. It does look like, no, actually, if you put anything too small down, no, actually, Sparrowmon reboots the X7, so that's there. It's not actually an issue there. So we still have a blocker in place. Decisions. Let's play the Zendero to get down a blocker. So it does mean if he goes into the Gallant with blow up a 6k or less, if it doesn't, it deletes trash security, wouldn't proc, so we'd just delete the ballista there. The X7, yep, does reboot. And only leaving them on 2. It's not a lot to work with for Gallant here. It can get the deletion and that to be able to obviously retain turn if it's on the ground under there, things like that, but realistically it's not in a good way. So going into the Gallant there, which will then pop the ballista. And I believe that's all she wrote. As we go ahead and swing with X7, so that is game 1 done. Moving into game 2. So I believe here Crosshearts will be going first. It makes sense for the Gallant to take second play here to try and get as much memory as possible. I think Crosshearts generally doesn't want to go first with it because they always complain down a Tamer of some sort, which is just going to always give over quite a bit of memory. So we'll see how it plays out. So they're going to start with it and then they'll play down the 4-cost Tamer. So they're giving it quite a bit of memory, but I mean that's not a bad start because they will incrementally get the value back off that card. So Gallant's going to hatch the GG, go into the gears. They have seen the rookie this time, so it's a much better start. Let's hope I haven't jinxed that. Okay, we might have jinxed this. We've got a gear, and that's not the gear we want to see. But they have gone for the ground. Okay, so they've opted to go for that to try and, I think it's trash some cards. It's not trash some cards. It's delete some or trash some cards. 1, 2 cards a piece. So just opted to get a little bit of board presence there, and also get rid of some of the card advantage from the Across Tournament player. And if you look, you can get some decent hits which take away from their main sources. If you hit the Shoutmons, you're in a good spot, because that's their rush gun. So they're going to go ahead swing with the Starmon, draw off the pick, and they hit and make the Digimon. I'll go ahead and save that. They've got 1 memory to work with, actually 2 memory to work with. They will go to the Zenjiro. Are they going to play Ballista? No. See what Gallantmon's got to do here. Then go ahead, swing with the Geo, draw off the Digimon, so looking to try and cycle some cards here. Let's see what we go for here. So we're going to do the War Growl, so we'll trash a few more cards and get to play out a Gallantmon or a Takato. So we do hit Takato there, which is the Blitz one, which is nice to see. Do the select one? They do elect one on hand, so I'm guessing they didn't see the memory set to 1 in trash, so I had to use the one from hand. Okay, so the Cross Hearts player electing to use main phase effect to gain a memory draw a card by tucking in a Cross Hearts, and then go to Starmon in Raisin. Looking to be a different change of pace this game, with Gallantmon not completely bricking. It's been able to get at least some of its pieces set up. Cross Art's not popped off just as of yet, so it's not looking the worst for Gallantmon, but there is a lot of things getting thrown down on their back row, which just creates a big problem. But we'll root for you. Come on, Gallant. I'm not picking favourites, but I just did. Yeah, so I guess the thing is though with Gallant's like there's a lot of archetypes now that have protection clause built into them, and Gallant's just one of those that has never been given that. You've got the Garurumon battle protection, you've got the Greymon for the bounce protection, deletion protection, bottom deck and that stuff. And Gallant's never been in that kind of forefront of things. Gallant go ahead and hatch it into the Digimon. Do they have a rookie to throw down this time? They do, so you go to the Gallantmon there. Now this for a bit of tempo here, it'd be nice to have the new Gallantmon to be able to start trashing some security as well as get an additional check in there. I think that would really just kind of help the tempo. And trashing the card, it could be a tamer of some sort, so it could some good value there. But it's all, I guess it's all dependent on the cards in hand. Okay, so I'm going to play down the Blitz to Kato, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Because if they do have the other Gallant now, they can still go ahead and do that. Okay, so they go for the Gallant X Anti. Go ahead, swing. So no, sadly, because the Gallant obviously has an accent, he hasn't got the Gallant in its sources and that, you don't get any of the additional effects to it, so it is quite vanilla at this current point. It's just, especially with nothing on board, and delete it as well. So Cross Art's going to do all its triggers that there and gain more and more memory. They've got the Starmon raised out. It's looking to be a scarier turn now, just with the sheer amount of memory they've got. A lot of chance for them to kind of change the board state up. The next 7 taking out the Gallant would be quite costly here for them. They go ahead, swing with a Stars, get some chip damage. So that does go ahead and save. Only issue I have with these decks is like OCD becomes a thing. There's that many tamers, there's just not enough space. So throwing down another Taiki here. Oh, I guess you can took a Zig. Now, do you take the X4 or do you take the X5? The X4 is going to cycle a lot of cards. I think that's a Zig he took to there. Let's go for the X7. Let's see. Well, it looks like he's got all the pieces for it. I actually think so. He's got a lot of cards there for sources. Sorry, I've had a bit of cough myself at the moment. That's the reason the content has been a little bit more delayed than I'd like to be, so apologies to you all. We will try and be more consistent going forward. So the X7 will take out the Gallantmon, pass and overturn. They do go to 3, but they do have a blocker in play now. It's a rather big body to deal with. What is going to be the Gallant response here? Because I mean, it still has got the Takato which they can use to evo up into the Gallant. That only blows up a 6k less. They kind of need the actual Gallant X antis for the pop on this one. I believe it pop lowest class. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and raise out the Geo. Got 3 security to get through, so they're going to go ahead and swing. They elect to take that, so that does die. They're looking to play another Geo, go down to 0. Yeah, it's not looking the most promising here in the hand, and they'll go into the Growl there to put them at 2. Yeah, so not quite the impactful turn they needed to have, not with Cross Hearts sitting there with an X7 on board, swinging for 2 checks as well. Depending on how much they maximise their sources, because they've got 2 of the new 4-cost tamer down, they're going to look to extend that turn a lot more. They've got Zenjira down, so memory's becoming less of a thing. So they could quite easily get 2 bodies out here to swing alongside the X7 for game. And then it'll depend on the security as to if they can still they can survive. Oh, it's final moments. What have they got here? Because literally this would be the kill turn if anything. There should be more than enough resources on Cross Heart's side to do what it needs to do. So they're going to swing the 2 checks. I think it's 2. I can believe I can see an Omni Shout under there. That's that. And second check is that. Yeah. So they're safe for the check. Being at 4 memory, it's a good amount to be at for Cross Hearts. They didn't take the X4 earlier, so that's something to keep in mind, but they do play the Shoutmon, so it must be the case they don't have the right things to go for it. So they take Sparrow and they take the Akari. Yeah, I remember it now. So it looks like they are going for the X7 superior mode here. Now this is not overkill in any sort of shape or form. For anybody that is looking to play into this deck, disclaimer, if you have any form of OCD or issues towards being disorganised, definitely not the deck for you. I think the hardest part here is literally organising how this sits. I think there's just point. I mean, I guess the inheritables as well, so they need to be visible for your opponent. But yeah, it's problematic, especially when you have like 15 cards or so. That's fine. Just that's almost ridiculous. That's literally, yeah. I think that's enough sources, don't you? That will obviously remove the body there. It does pass turnover, but really, there's not an out here. Not for Gallant. It is just the end of it all. I'll be honest. I can't see Gallant answering an X7 and an X7 Superior. So, from our side of here at Gordo's Games, I do hope you've enjoyed the content. This is the first preliminary rounds. We are going to move into obviously the next stage of it soon enough, which will get uploaded as per normal times, which is on Friday. Overall, if you do like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. And thank you for tuning in to Gordo's Games. We'll catch you next time.